Welcome to the Voice of America's Newswords.
The home of a rescued beaver was recently decided in court in the American state of Massachusetts. Diva.
Nibby arrived at the Newhouse Wildlife Rescue Group just after birth. She connected with humans and is described as a much-loved diva beaver. When a judge ruled that she must be returned to the wild, the governor overruled, permitting Nibby to stay with the group.
In human terms, a diva is a beautiful and successful female entertainer. But it can also describe someone. Every November, the National Toy Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York, honors the best and most popular playthings in America. Induct.
Hundreds of toys and games are nominated to the Toy Hall of Fame every year. But officials choose only a few to induct into the group. 12 toys are finalists, including the balloon, Pokemon cards, and Transformers toys.
Induct, a verb, means to officially admit someone or something as a member.
An induction usually involves a ceremony, and those honored are called inductees. Researchers have discovered that honeybees in a laboratory can identify chemicals related to cancer. Detect.
Researchers at Michigan State University created a method to detect lung cancer using honeybees' strong sense of smell. When chemicals related to lung cancer are detected, the bees' nerve cells light up. Researchers hope this will lead to smell-based testing.
To detect is to discover or notice something that is hidden or hard to see, hear, or taste.
A detective's job is to find out what happened in a crime. Welcome to the Voice of America's Newswords.
In early November, Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election to become America's 47th president. Integrity.
Trump will be inaugurated on January 20th. President Joe Biden congratulated the.
Welcome to the Voice of America's Newswords.
Oxford University Press has released its Word of the Year for 2024. Brain rot.
The phrase brain rot was chosen because it represents.
Welcome to the Voice of America's Newswords.
Technology company Microsoft and the Roman Catholic Church have created a digital version of an important site. Replica.
The project aims to give people a new way to see St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, home of the Catholic Church in Rome. The project used 400,000 high-quality photographs to capture a detailed computer-based replica of the building.
A replica is an exact copy of an object.
A replica can take many forms, including this sweet food called cake, created for an international cake show.
A new public artwork in the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo addresses the effects of climate change in the Amazon area.
Mural.
Artist Mundano created the mural to highlight weather disasters and mud from recent deadly wildfires.
Musician John Bon Jovi recently helped save a woman's life in Nashville, Tennessee. Ledge.
Bon Jovi was recording a music video on a high bridge over a river. He and an assistant went to the aid of a woman who had climbed onto the ledge of the bridge. After they all talked, the woman came down from the ledge to safety.
A ledge is a narrow, flattish surface that sticks out from a larger structure. Natural ledges are found on mountains and hills. In fact, mountain climbers sometimes take rest on them. Two leaders in the development of artificial intelligence, or AI, recently won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Flabbergasted.
John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton were awarded the prize for their discoveries and inventions that formed the building blocks of machine learning. A member of the Academy phoned Hinton to deliver the news and ask how he felt.
I'm flabbergasted. I had no idea this would happen.
To be flabbergasted is to be shocked by something that is not expected. It is a feeling of being overcome with surprise.
Continuing video series on using COCA to improve your academic writing. My name is Andrew Davis, and I am an instructor of graduate level English for academic writing at Duke University's English for International Students. And today we are going to look at the list search function of COCA. So here is the COCA home screen. So as you can see here, I have the list search function highlighted and selected. So simply put, what does this search function do? It just finds and lists any instance of whatever you put in the search bar from the corpus. So as an example, I always like to show the term research, right? Very common word. So I'm going to click Find Matching Strings. And we have our results here. Just a few things to point out. You can see over here this number. This is the frequency. In other words, this is the raw number of how many times this term shows up in the whole corpus. So you can see over 266,000 times this word shows up in our corpus. So if I hover over the word, you can see that it is a hyperlink, and I'm going to click that hyperlink, and it's going to show me some actual context of how this term is used in our corpus. So let me just draw your attention to what some of these columns actually mean over here. So starting from the left, this would be obviously the year in which this sample was written. The next column is the subcorpus in which it appears. So we have academic, blog, magazine, website, blog, website, etc. The next column is the source of where this word occurs. And then if we're moving over here, we can see actual context, actual sentences, so you can see how this word or search term is used in the corpus. And we can actually go a little bit further. You can see that these are actually hyperlinks as well. So if I were to click the source, this actually gives me even more context. So it gives you 5 or 6 sentences. So you can really get a sense of how this word was used in that context. So, like I said, very simply put, whatever you put in the search term, it will find those instances and list them in that way. But let's go a little bit deeper. I want to utilize some other search terms in this function. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's say I want to know what are the most common adjectives that are used to describe research in this corpus. So I can actually do that if I wanted to find out common adjectives used to describe research. So remember this POS button that stands for part of speech. I'm going to click that. I'm going to insert adjectives and it search term, and I am going to put research. So what I am saying is I want the corpus to search for the most common adjectives used to describe research in the entire corpus. So I'm going to find those matching strings. And again, here is what I see. So again, it ranks it the most common to the least common. The frequency, again, that's the raw number. And then we also have a bar graph to give us a further visualization to help us interpret the results that we are seeking. And again, just as a reminder, I can click any of these terms and I can see exactly some example sentences of where this occurs. Okay. Now let me add something even more to this search. So remember this sections tab here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to check the box for sections, and I'm not going to do anything else. Now I'm going to search my term. This is going to give us an even richer look at how this word is used when compared among the different corpora, the different subcorpora in the whole corpus. So here we have the same results, but now we have subdivided into the subgenres in this corpus: blogs, website general, TV and movie subtitles, spoken, fiction, magazine, newspaper, and academic writing. And you can see it has generated a heat map of these results. The darker the color, the more frequent this word appears in relation to the other corpora, right? So if I were to look at future research, it is most common in academic corpora. In academic context, it is least common in the other contexts here. If we go to new, we actually see it is most common in popular magazines when compared with the other corpora. So we can get a sense of comparing across different writing contexts, and we can start to see some variation in how we use language in these different contexts. Now, perhaps I actually don't care about those other contexts. Maybe I just want to see what are the most common adjectives in academic writing only. So again, I'm going to go to this sections. I'm going to click sections. It's going to give me a drop-down menu, and I'm going to highlight academic. I only want to know the most common adjectives that follow research in the academic section of this corpus. Find matching strings. It always takes just a few seconds. Remember, this is searching a billion-word corpus and sorting your results. So always give it just a few seconds when you click this button. And now we have some slightly different results. Future research, previous research, further research, educational, qualitative research. So we get slightly different results if we are looking at only academic contexts. Okay, so this will help us determine what some vocabulary words we could use to help further describe this. Again, so that we are matching the conventions of academic language and academic vocabulary. So let's look at perhaps some example language and then the other genres. And in fact, the least common context where I would find this phrasal verb is academic writing, right? So what does this tell me? Well, this tells me if I go back to my original sentence, I might say to myself, you know what? I want to be more formal in my writing. I want to sound a little bit more academic. So what I want to do now is perhaps replace that find out with a more academic formal, perhaps a one-word verb in this place. So what are my options? I could say experimenting to determine, experimenting to investigate. All of those are synonyms of find out. And so perhaps I would want to replace that phrasal verb with something a little bit more formal and academic. So those are some examples of how I might use this list function to do some editing strategies and to perhaps either check my writing to see if it is academic or formal, or perhaps to find options in vocabulary, or to find correct grammar forms in my writing as well. So I want to end this video. If you feel comfortable and confident in this, you may stop this video now. However, I do have 2 practice problems that I want you to, if you would like some additional practice, I will go through the answers. So each of these 2 sentences has some kind of an error or phrase in the phrasing, and I have marked these errors in red. So what I want you to do, pause this video and use the list search function to find an appropriate revision. When you are finished, you may unpause this video and I will go over some of the answers. So go ahead and at this time, pause this video. Okay, so look at number 1. Considering these bad effects, actions need to be implemented to stop the acceleration of ocean acidification. So what I'm going to do, let's just search. Let's see what you found, right? I'm going to type in bad effects. And what I might be concerned about is this academic? Is it precise language, right? Is it formal language? Well, in this case, I don't know about that. So what I want to do is I actually want to look for sections. I want to see how this phrase occurs in different sections. So if I find the matching strings, right away I can see, number 1, it is used very infrequently. In all the corpora, this phrase is used only 138 times in a billion words. So that tells me right there on blogs and websites, and that's not very academic. So what could I do? Well, going back to the list function, I might know that bad is an adjective, and so I want to look for more appropriate adjectives to describe effects, right? So I want to go adjective, effects. And for an added bonus, I actually want to look at it in only academic contexts. So again, I have sections. I'm only searching for academic. I want to find the most common adjectives to describe effects. So again, and here we go. Right away, I can see a lot more frequency, right? So I know that all of these are used much more frequently just in the academic context than bad effects, right? Bad means negative, right? It's a negative connotation. So I might go through here. I can see what options do I have? Negative effects, adverse effects, maybe, deleterious effects if you want to be even smarter. So there are a lot of different options in our academic choices that we can use that are much better and more precise than just bad. So let's look at that second option. So the second sentence, there are still many same natural videos. So perhaps you looked at this and you saw right away that perhaps this is grammatically incorrect. But maybe you were just not sure. But if you go here, and I'm just going to do a simple search. Many, same. First thing I notice, 2 instances. I highly doubt. And here, many same-sex couples, right? So that's not even the same context. So one of these we can eliminate right away. So you might determine that same is the incorrect word form. So you might go to other resources that you have to determine what different word form could we use here. If it's not found in the corpus, there's a good chance that it's just not something that we say or use in a more natural English environment. So not found in the corpus, there's a good chance that it's just not something that we say or use in a more natural English environment. So you might decide to revise this to say many similar nature videos. Right? So these are just 2 examples of further ways to improve your writing. So with that, I will end this video for today.
So this time let's explore ligro.com. Okay, here we go. We have Ligro. All right. So before, make sure that we have an article. For example, let's go to Washington Post. Here we have. Okay. Let's click here. We have this article. So once we have the article, okay, let's take the address, the hash. Okay, let's copy. Now let's go to ligro.com. Here we are. Then once we have all this, we go here and we paste our, okay, we paste it. English, we can choose. We have here as many languages as you want: English, Spanish, English, English, Spanish, French, English, etc. So you have all this. So let's take this one. Okay, then now we click on here. So now here is the text. Let's click on this word. For example, you have all the definitions: convene, rassembler, réunir, amener, assembler. Okay, so you can also have delaying, surseillant. Right, let's have another: congress, for example, congrès. So this is what we can do with this ligro.f.com.